The days following Princess Faith's birth were filled with joy. But they were also some of the busiest Queen Parucha could remember. It had been many years since she had cared for a newborn, and little Faith was determined to make sure everyone knew she had arrived. Every 2 hours she wanted feeding. If she wasn't hungry, she needed changing. And if she wasn't changing, she was happily keeping everyone awake with her tiny cries. Before long, the cottage was covered with freshly washed baby clothes and blankets hanging from every chair, railing, and fireplace. With late autumn bringing cold, damp weather, nothing seemed to dry fast enough. Although everyone helped, the Queen was growing more exhausted by the day. Tiredness made it difficult for her to produce enough milk, and she worried that little Faith was never quite satisfied. Seeing her struggle, Nancy gently suggested an idea. "Why don't I visit the main island?" she said. "Perhaps we can find a nursing mother who could help until you've regained your strength." The Queen gratefully agreed. Crossing to the main island, Nancy asked among the villagers if anyone might be willing to help. Soon she was directed to a young woman who had recently suffered the heartbreaking loss of her own baby during childbirth. Nancy carefully explained the Queen's situation and asked whether she would consider feeding Princess Faith. The young mother was quiet for a moment before giving a gentle smile. "My child may no longer need my milk," she said softly, "but another baby does." She packed a small bag and traveled back with Nancy to the little island, ready to help however she could. As soon as she arrived, the Queen placed hungry little Faith into her caring arms. The baby immediately settled and began to feed contentedly. Relieved beyond words, Queen Parucha turned to Nancy. "Would you watch over the feedings for a little while?" she asked. "I think I need some sleep." Nancy smiled. "We'll take good care of her." For the first time in many days, the Queen allowed herself to rest. She slept deeply for hours. When she finally awoke, the house was unusually quiet. Wondering how Faith was, she quietly walked downstairs for a drink. Just as she reached the staircase again, she heard her daughter begin to cry. Before she could even reach the nursery, the young mother was already there, gently lifting Faith into her arms and comforting her with a warm smile. The Queen paused outside the room. As Faith fed peacefully, the young woman softly sang a beautiful lullaby that drifted through the cottage like a gentle breeze. Queen Parucha smiled to herself. Nancy had chosen wisely. This kind-hearted woman had become a wonderful blessing to them all. Knowing her daughter was safe, loved, and content, the Queen returned to her room, closed her eyes once more, and drifted into the peaceful sleep she so desperately needed. The following morning, something remarkable happened. The entire house slept in. For the first time since Princess Faith had arrived, there were no hurried footsteps, no anxious voices, and no weary faces. It was as though the whole household had taken one long, grateful breath together. With renewed strength, smiling faces, and a well-fed baby, everyone was finally ready for the next chapter of their journey.